Billionaire sheikh leads poor girl to take in a beggar, but what she discovers changes everything. In the sun-drenched city of Dubai, where skyscrapers danced with the clouds, Amina lived in a cramped, weathered apartment. At 21, her life was a mosaic of dreams ignited by flickering candles and the scent of jasmine lingering in the air. "One day I'll leave this place," she whispered to herself, eyes fixed on the distant palaces glimmering like jewels. Her fingers often brushed the worn fabric of her hijab as she traversed the bustling souks. The vibrant colors of spices and fabrics overwhelmed her senses. But today was different. Amina's heart raced as she stumbled across a gathering. Curious voices filled the air, and her eyes widened at the golden silhouette of Sheikh Malik, the billionaire known for his philanthropic ventures. "He's a legend," someone murmured, awe lacing their voice. She experienced a pull, as though the universe whispered her name. When Sheikh Malik spotted her through the crowd, he beckoned her closer. "You look troubled, my dear," he said, his deep voice smooth as silk. Caught off guard, Amina felt the heat of his gaze. "It's nothing, Your Highness," she stammered, her heart pounding. But the sheikh continued, "I have a task for you. It involves compassion." That single sentence marked a turning point, a gateway into a world she had only glimpsed. Through her window, Sheikh Malik explained that he wanted her to take in a beggar whom he had encountered near his palace. He emphasized the importance of humility and charity in life's journey. "You will find him at Al Maktoum Square," he instructed, his eyes sparkling with purpose. As Amina walked towards the square, the fragrance of saffron intermingled with the fresh scent of roses. The opulence of the towering buildings surrounded her, and she felt an odd desire to bridge the vast divide between her humble life and the shimmering world of Sheikh Malik. Upon reaching the square, she discovered a frail old man sitting against a wall, his tattered garments contrasting starkly with the surroundings of wealth. "Please, miss, spare some change," he rasped, eyes gleaming with weariness. Her throat tightened at the sight. Digging into her pocket, she offered him the last coins she had. "You deserve more than this," she murmured, guilt enslaving her heart. Suddenly, a loud crash shattered the peaceful moment, and Amina's head snapped to the sound. There, she noticed a delegation from the sheikh's palace approaching. A feeling of dread clawed at her gut as the men surrounded the beggar, their expressions darkening. "How dare you beg here?" one of them barked, and Amina's pulse quickened. Fear laced her veins as she grasped the beggar's hand tightly. "Stop it! He needs help!" she cried, her voice barely above a whisper. And just as Sheikh Malik appeared in the distance, Amina's heart froze, realization dawning on her. This was more than just a simple act of charity. Her world, all at once, teetered on the edge of a revelation she couldn't yet grasp. Hey, before we dive back into this amazing story, I've got an important warning. Lots of subscribers told me YouTube removed their subscription without notice. Take a second to check the red button below and make sure you're still subscribed. I don't want you to miss any exclusive content that's coming up. And while you're there, smash that powerful like button. It really helps with the algorithm. Let me know in the comments, Which city are you watching from? I love meeting every awesome person in this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's interact. Amina felt the ground shift beneath her feet. Panic coursed through her, tightening her chest. The beggar's face twisted in fear. "Leave him alone!" she shouted again, her voice breaking. The Sheikh's delegation paused, curiosity glinting in their eyes. Sheikh Malik surged forward, confusion painted across his regal features. "What's happening here?" he demanded, his tone sharp. Amina didn't answer. Instead, she squeezed the beggar's hand tighter, grounding herself in his frail presence. The men exchanged glances, their disdain palpable. "This man is a disgrace," one scoffed. "He tarnishes the beauty of the city." Amina's heart thudded loud in her ears. Beauty? Did they even see what was right in front of them? She struggled to find the words, something that could shift his perspective. But then, something in Sheikh Malik's eyes shifted. "No," he murmured under his breath. "It can't be." The crowd around them hushed. Whispers swept through like wind through the souk. Amina's breath hitched. She could see something dawning in the Sheikh's expression. Horror? Recognition? He's my father," Malik stammered, the revelation crashing down like thunder. The shock reverberated through Amina's core. Her chest constricted. The beggar's head snapped up. "Malik?" he rasped, voice cracking. "You finally remember me?" Bafflement washed over the crowd, their murmurs turning into gasps. Amina felt the world tilt. Sheikh Malik stepped back, anguish twisting his features. "No, you left," he roared, his voice a mix of anger and sorrow, resonating through the square. "You abandoned us." Suddenly, Amina's eyes darted between the two men. This was not just a beggar. Malik's eyes glistened with unshed tears. He looked younger, vulnerable, trapped between his past and the gilded world he had built. "I sought power, riches," he whispered, almost to himself. "I was ashamed of you." Amina's heart broke for them both. She could feel her own heart racing as the truth of it sunk deep. The rich, famous billionaire didn't just give others a hand. He was echoing the very pain he had escaped. It was all unraveling before her. And in that moment, the noise of the crowd became deafening, their judgment and confusion swirling around her. "You think wealth makes you better?" the beggar shouted, his voice raw. "But look how the power has twisted you." Malik flinched, each word hitting him like a stone. Amina stood between them, torn apart by their strained relationship. "You can't ignore him," she urged, desperation spilling from her lips. But Malik turned, anger igniting in his eyes. "Get her out of here," he barked at his men. "And take him away." Amina felt her heart drop. "No," she cried out, reaching for the beggar as the guards advanced. Everything inside her screamed to fight back. But just as a hand gripped her elbow, she caught a fleeting look from Malik. The hurt, the shame, the boy lost in the man. And in that instant, Amina knew she couldn't turn back. As chaos erupted around them, she made a decision that would haunt her forever. "I will help him. I will help you both," she shouted defiance as fear twisted in her gut. But the guards tightened their grip, and she knew before the night ended, everything would change. and with one last pleading look exchanged between the three of them, darkness closed in. Amina felt a crushing weight in her chest. She gripped the beggar's hand tighter. The crowd closed in, murmurs swirling like a windstorm of judgment. "Let him go," she shouted, her voice tearing through the chaos. Her heart raced, each beat pounding in her ears. The guards pulled her back, their grits like iron. She stared at Sheikh Malik. He looked lost, a man caught between two worlds. Her heart ached for him, as much as it did for the beggar. But then a shout cut through the air. "Stop!" A new voice rang out, sharp and commanding. Instantly, all eyes shifted to a tall woman stepping through the crowd. She wore an elegant dress, shimmering like the desert sun. Her hair fell in waves around her shoulders. Amina recognized her, the respected philanthropist and Malik's business partner, Layla. "What are you doing?" Layla demanded, her eyes sweeping over the scene. The guards hesitated, their confidence shaken. Layla moved closer, her gaze darting between Malik and the beggar. "He is your father? The man you turned your back on?" Amina's breath caught. The revelation hung heavy in the air. Malik's face twisted. "You don't understand," he shouted, voice laced with desperation. "I had to leave. There was no choice." "No choice?" Layla scoffed. "You chose wealth over family?" The crowd gasped. Amina could feel the stir of disapproval. She had stumbled into a hidden drama, and it was unfolding before her. "Layla, please." Malik's eyes widened, panic sparking within them. But before he could finish, Layla lifted her hand. "Enough. Look at where you've come, Malik. You think this is success? You abandoned him. You abandoned your roots." Amina flinched and darted a glance at the beggar. His face was etched with pain. Tears glinted in his weary eyes, waiting for something, anything, from his son. Suddenly, Layla took a step back. But that's not the worst of it. A hush fell over the crowd, disbelieving whispers creating a ripple of tension. "What do you mean?" Malik looked bewildered, worry crinkling the corners of his proud face. Layla drew a deep breath. "You've hidden your past, but it's about to come rushing back. Your history isn't just about your father. There's more." Amina felt a chill seep into her bones. What could be worse than this revelation? "I've learned things," Layla continued, eyes glimmering with a fierce resolve. "Things about your mother, about your family. You don't know the truth." Malik's face twisted, anger and confusion mixing in his features. "What truth? The truth that could destroy everything you've built?" Layla's voice dropped, her tone low and filled with urgency. Before Amina could process this, the beggar's eyes lit up with recognition. "You know them?" he rasped, voice trembling. The silence grew, thick. Everything felt like it was teetering on the edge. "I know things that could change your life forever," Layla said, voice steady. Amina's heart raced. She sensed that whatever Layla knew could shatter the lives of everyone in the square. The guards tightened their hold, looking confused and uncertain. "Let him go," Amina yelled again, adrenaline coursing through her. "You can't let this happen." But her voice was drowned by a sudden wave of whispers, the crowd shifting and swirling, their expressions twisting between shock and rage. "Enough!" Malik shouted, but it was too late. Amina's eyes burned, her pulse quickening. She knew in her gut that they were all on the cusp of something monumental, something that could change their futures in a heartbeat. Layla stepped closer. "Malik, if you're ready to hear the truth, you'll need to face the consequences." And with those words, Amina's heart sank. What consequences lay ahead? Each second stretched, the tension mounting. An unexpected thunder rumbled above, echoing her turmoil, as the air thickened with uncertainty. Then, everything went black. Amina felt the world swirl around her. The darkness settled in like a thick fog. Layla's words hung heavy in the air. "Your past is about to rush back," she had said. A shiver ran down Amina's spine. What secret could unravel everything? Malik looked torn. He was a powerful man, yet here. He was, caught in a storm he couldn't control. Layla's eyes were fierce, standing her ground like a soldier. Amina's heart pounded. The tension was unbearable. She wanted to reach out to Malik, to guide him back from the brink of chaos. But fear held her back. The crowd watched, breaths bated. Then, Layla stepped forward. "Malik, there's something you don't know." The words slipped into the air like smoke. "About your mother." Layla hesitated, and everyone leaned in closer. Amina's eyes darted to the beggar, whose ragged expression told a story of suffering. "Your mother was..." Layla took a deep breath. "She was not who you think." The crowd gasped, murmurs of confusion rippling. Through them, Malik's face paled. "What do you mean?" His voice was shaky, cracking under pressure. Layla pressed on. She had secrets, dark ones. She was involved in things that put your family at risk. They were dangerous. Amina's heart stopped. This wasn't just about family drama, was it? She had to leave Malik, for her safety, and yours. Layla's voice held the weight of years. Malik stepped back, confusion mixed with anger. "You're lying." "No," the beggar croaked, tears streaming down his face. "It's true. I tried to protect you." Amina's mind raced. The beggar was more than just a homeless man, part of a twisted tale. Malik looked at him, eyes wide, searching for answers. "I was your father's friend," the old man continued, voice trembling. "I saw her go. She was scared. They were after her." Stunned silence fell. Amina felt it like a punch. Malik's shoulders slumped, the realization dawning. "I never knew." His voice was barely a whisper. "I thought she abandoned us." Amina's heart ached for him. The lavish life had come at a price, a life filled with secrets and guilt. But just then, a shout erupted from the back of the crowd. "Enough! You're all fools!" A tall man pushed through, anger etched on his face. "Who are you?" someone called out. "I'm the one who knows the truth," he yelled, eyes fixed on Malik. "Your mother had to disappear because of me." The crowd shifted, confusion and fear mingling in the air. Amina's stomach churned. Another layer of secrets? Who was this stranger? Malik stepped forward, confusion morphing into rage. "You? What did you do?" "You wouldn't understand," he snarled, moving closer, voice low and dangerous. "But your family is not what you think. I've seen the darkness behind every glittering tower." Gasps broke through the crowd. Amina felt the ground beneath her tremble. The tension was thick. The atmosphere was a tight coil ready to snap. "What do you mean?" Malik's voice was steady now, but Amina could feel his anger simmering. "I know about the connections, the power plays. Your mother made choices to save you, but it came at a terrible cost." Amina exchanged glances with the beggar. His eyes were wide, filled with regret and a strange fear. "I can show you," the man said, voice steady, yet hanging with menace. "But you might not like what you discover." Layla stepped back, shocked. "You're lying!" He shook his head. "Am I? Or is the truth just too terrible to face?" Amina's breath hitched. Everything was spiraling. Each second felt like a countdown. What revelation awaited them? As Malik stood frozen, staring at the stranger, Amina felt a pull to him, but fear clawed at her heart. "No!" Malik slammed his fist down. "Whatever you're hiding, I will uncover it." The atmosphere crackled with intensity. And just like that, darkness seemed to close in even tighter. The man grinned, eyes glinting with something sinister. "Then brace yourself, Sheikh, because the truth can be brutal." Amina's heart raced. She sensed that they were standing on the edge of a massive upheaval. With each heartbeat, the tension rose, thickening around them. And then, just as whispers of the crowd echoed the danger, lights flickered. The sky rumbled ominously overhead, shadows racing through the square. "Whatever happens next will change everything," Amina thought, trapped in a moment of dread. And in that chaos, she knew this was just the beginning. Amina's heart raced as tension crackled in the air. She felt every heavy breath from the crowd. Malik looked torn, his eyes burning with a mix of anger and confusion. Every second stretched painfully long. The man stepped closer. "You want the truth? Fine. Let me tell you about your mother's real past." Malik's jaw tightened. "Stop! I don't want to hear your lies." But something deep inside him seemed to crumble. A flicker of doubt crossed his face, as if he was suddenly seeing a monster lurking in the shadows of his own history. "Your mother was more than just a woman caught in a web," the man continued, voice low and hoarse. "She was tangled with very dangerous people. You were just a pawn." Gasps erupted from the crowd. Amina turned to the beggar. His gaze was steady, filled with sadness. He knew it. Malik didn't. "No!" Malik shouted, shaking his head violently. "You don't know anything." The stranger smirked. "I know that she had powerful enemies. The family you trusted to protect you. They used you. You've been nothing but a puppet in their game." Amina's stomach twisted. The words hung heavy. Malik's entire life flashed before her eyes. Everything he had built could shatter. "Shut up!" Malik shouted, but he faltered. A conflict raged within him. The crowd edged closer, faces filled with shock and disbelief. Amina allowed herself to look beyond Malik, into the frantic expressions around them. The whole city felt on the edge of something explosive. And the worst part? The man's voice dropped lower, coating the air with dread. Your mother didn't leave for your safety. She left because she wanted to protect herself from the terrible truth. From you. Amina swallowed hard. That couldn't be true. But the way Malik's face fell suggested otherwise. The despair hung thick between them. What truth? Malik's voice cracked, revealing his vulnerability. She gave you up, the stranger hissed. For power, for safety, she abandoned her blood. And if you want to find her, you'll have to follow her. Footsteps into the depths of that darkness. The crowd whispered in hushed tones. Amina felt like the ground was shifting beneath her. Malik was trembling now. The pain of betrayal was starting to sink in. "Don't listen to him," Amina shouted, searching for something, anything to give him hope. This can't be real. But Malik was gone. His face went pale. It was as if his entire world crumbled, piece by piece. "No," he whispered, voice trembling. The beggar's eyes filled with tears. "She did what she thought was best for both of you." A loud crashing sound erupted from behind them, pulling everyone's attention. Two men in dark suits pushed their way through the crowd, faces stern and dangerous. Panic rippled. Malik's jaw clenched, and his gaze switched between Amina and his father, like he was losing control. "We are done here," a suited man shouted, pointing directly at Malik. "You can't escape your past." Every heart stopped. The tension peaked. Amina's instincts screamed. They were not safe anymore. "Malik," she cried out, clutching his arm. "We need to go. You can't stay here." As the crowd shifted and chaos erupted, Malik stood frozen. A storm brewing behind those sharp eyes. "What do they want?" he asked, voice barely a whisper. But no one answered him. The man who had unraveled his past locked gazes with Malik, challenging him. A deeper game was unfolding, and Malik was caught right in the middle. "You think this is over?" the stranger hissed, an unsettling smile creeping across his face. "No, Sheikh. This is just the beginning." Amina's breath caught in her throat. She sensed something monumental was about to crash down on them. Malik, filled with uncertainty, composed himself. "What do you know?" he demanded, authority creeping back into his voice. "Everything," the man replied, grin widening. "And I'm ready to reveal it all, just not here." Amina's heart raced. What could possibly be worse than this? Then, as the suited men advanced, pushing through the now frantic crowd, Malik turned to Amina, the weight of his entire life written on his face. "Stay close," he whispered, his determination flickering. The world felt heavy, unyielding. Just then, debris fell from a nearby building, crashing to the ground. A scream pierced through the din. Amina felt the world slip away. Every moment mattered now. Every choice. The danger was real, so close they could taste it. But in this moment, Malik seemed more vulnerable than Amina had ever seen him. The darkness wrapped around them as the unknown loomed larger, deeper. And just as shadows closed in, she sensed a truth coming that would change everything. The question hung, would they survive it? Amina's heart thundered. Her hands were shaking. Malik was standing there, torn between two worlds. She could feel the air crackling with tension. The crowd was on edge, watching, waiting. "Malik!" Amina shouted, her voice breaking through the chaos. "We need to move!" But he didn't budge. He seemed lost, staring at the strange man who had unleashed this storm. The suited men were closing in, and panic surged through Amina. She wanted to reach out, to pull him back from the brink of destruction. "What do you mean? My mother left for power." Malik's voice cut sharply through the noise. "You're lying." The man smirked, a twisted satisfaction in his gaze. "Am I? Or am I just revealing who you really are, Sheikh?" Malik's face paled, and Amina felt a tightening in her chest. He was unraveling, every layer of his life crumbling before her eyes. But then the stranger took a step back, eyes narrowing. "You don't even know her true past, or the legacy she left behind." "What legacy?" Malik shot back, anger simmering just below the surface. "What are you hiding?" The stranger opened his mouth to speak, but a jolt shook the ground beneath them. A sudden wave of panic surged through the crowd. Amina's heart raced. Everything felt like it was collapsing. "Get out of here," she urged, tugging at Malik's arm. But he was fixed, caught in a web of confusion and anger. Just then, another voice broke through the tumult. "Stop this!" Everyone turned. A woman emerged from the shadows. She was tall, with a commanding presence. Her eyes bore into Malik, filled with years of regret. Amina recognized her. It was Malik's mother, the phantom of their earlier talks, the very woman who'd been the source of so many questions. "Mother," Malik choked, disbelief pouring from every ounce of his being. The crowd whispered, shock rippling through them like a wave. Amina held her breath. This was the moment when everything changed. "I came to warn you," she said, her voice firm, yet trembling. "They are coming for you, Malik. It's too dangerous to stay." "Dangerous? After all these years, you show up and say it's dangerous?" Malik's voice was raw, laced with anger and hurt. "You left us." "I did it to protect you," she retorted, stepping closer, anguish etched across her features. "You don't understand what I had to do. They'll seek you out. They'll find you." Before Malik could respond, the stranger laughed, loud and mocking. "You think she's here to protect you? She left you to rot." Amina felt the air grow heavier. Everything she thought she understood was spiraling. Was this mother really here to save him? Or to bury him in more chaos? Then the suited men approached, moving in with purpose. The crowd gasped, eyes blinking in confusion. "Grab him!" one of them shouted. And suddenly Amina's world exploded into chaos. She lost sight of Malik as bodies collided. The sound of shouting mixed with the cries of terrified onlookers. She fought through the bodies, desperation clawing at her throat. "Malik!" she screamed, but the noise drowned her out. And just then, a deep, haunting laughter echoed above the panic. The stranger grinned, eyes glinting with malicious delight. "You should have listened," Sheikh, without her, you have nothing. Amina's chest tightened. She spotted Malik through the chaos, struggling against the guards. His mother was lost in the tide. Shadows fell over them both. Then, with a snap, Malik pulled away, releasing a surge of energy. "I will not be controlled," he shouted. The world around him blurred into motion. But then, a gunshot echoed. Silence fell like a blanket, pressing hard against her ears. Amina's heart stopped. She turned, just in time to see Malik's mother crumple to the ground. "No!" he cried, desperation ripping through him. Amina's breath hitched. They were caught in a storm of fate, secrets erupting like flames. She glanced back at the man, who now wore a triumphant look. "Welcome to the truth, Sheikh," he sneered, standing in the eye of their collective hurricane. And in that moment, Amina understood. Nothing would ever be the same again. The darkness was deep, and there was no way out. Panic surged within her as uncertainty loomed overhead, and the world spiraled into shadow. Amina felt her heart drop as she watched Malik's mother fall. Panic surged through her. The crowd gasped, stunned into silence. "Someone, call for help!" she shouted. But the chaos stole her voice. Malik rushed to his mother, kneeling beside her, his face twisted in anguish. He pressed a trembling hand to her shoulder. "No, please don't leave me." Amina's chest tightened. She pushed through the jostling crowd, desperate to get to them. Fear coursed through her veins. "Malik, we need to get her out of here." But he couldn't hear her. Tears streamed down his face, mixing with the dirt and dust. The chaos morphed into a blur. The shouts, the cries, the urgency. It all felt like drowning. "Get back!" one of the suited men barked, pushing people aside. Amina's heart raced. They weren't done yet. Malik's mother lay still, her eyes closed. Amina's throat tightened. She couldn't believe this was happening. They came here to find answers, not this. The stranger with the malicious grin stepped closer. "This changes everything, Sheikh. Your past is catching up to you, and now you'll pay." Malik looked up, wild-eyed. "What do you mean? What do you know?" His voice was raw, desperate for answers. But the man only smiled. "More than you could ever imagine." "Stop! Just stop!" Amina cut in, panic rising in her throat. "You're hurting him. We need to focus on her." But a sudden crash made them all jump. From the corner of her eye, Amina saw a figure darting into the crowd. It was Layla, her expression urgent yet fearful. "Malik, we need to leave now," she shouted, urgency lacing her voice. Before Amina could react, Layla pushed through, reaching for Malik's arm. "We can't stay here. They'll come for you." The wild energy in the air shifted. Amina could sense the change, a tightness around them, a circle closing in. "What's going on?" Malik shouted back, anger flooding his voice. "You don't even know what's happening." Layla's eyes glinted with something. Was it panic? "More than you think. Your mother, there's a reason she left." Malik froze, the weight of her words sinking in. "What do you mean?" Amina felt dread creeping in. She stood at the edge of it, watching their history unravel in real time. Secrets hung in the air like smoke. Your mother was... Layla hesitated. She wasn't just protecting you, Malik. She was hiding. Hiding from what? Malik snapped, but there was fear in his voice now. Layla took a deep breath, her voice trembling. From the truth of who you really are, and why your family has been targeted. Malik's brows knitted together. What truth? You're scaring me. The moment hung heavily. Layla's eyes darted toward the men, now closing in fast. She's not just your mother, Malik. She's connected to a web of power, a power you don't even recognize. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Amina felt the ground shift beneath her. What did she mean? This isn't just about your past, Layla pressed. It's about who you were meant to be. Amina took a step back, confusion rising. What does that mean? But before Layla could answer, the other man smirked, folding his arms. It means all of you are just pawns in a much larger game. Suddenly, a scream broke through the charged air. A woman, another spectator, had stumbled back, pointing toward the entrance of the square. Look out! Everyone turned, hearts racing. A dark figure appeared, moving swiftly through the crowd. Instinct kicked in. Trouble was here again. Amina's stomach dropped. This wasn't over. Not by a long shot. The feeling of impending doom settled in. They had just pushed the right buttons, and now everything was spiraling. That figure surged forward, and in an instant, Amina felt a rush of icy dread. Whatever was coming next would shake the very foundation of their lives. The world seemed to hold its breath. Then the figure yelled, voice slicing through the confusion. Stop! You don't know what you're doing. And just like that, everything stilled as the night closed in, secrets ready to burst free. A figure burst into the square. It was a tall woman, breathless and fierce. Her hair whipped around her face as she pushed through the crowd. Stop! You don't know what you're doing, she yelled again, urgency slicing through the tension. Everyone froze. Eyes darted to her, questions hanging in the air. Amina's breath hitched. Who was she? Malik turned to her, confusion creasing his brow. Who are you? He shouted. She stepped forward, determination etched in every line of her face. I'm here for you, Malik. You need to listen to me. Why? He yelled back, pain spilling from every word. You don't know anything. But the woman raised her hands, pleading. I do know. I know everything about you. Your family. The secrets. Amina's stomach dropped. Was there more? Malik's eyes widened. What secrets? The crowd was hushed, every ear strained to catch what she might say next. The stranger who had just threatened Malik stood silently, a smirk fading. They're coming for you. They know where you are, what you've become. Who are they? Malik's voice cracked, desperation creeping in. The people your mother was running from. It's bigger than you understand. Why should I believe you? Malik snapped. The woman looked like she was struggling with her words. Because I've lost everything to them. They hide in the shadows, and they won't stop until they get what they want. The crowd murmured. Shockwaves rippled through them. Amina felt herself drawn closer, caught in the unfolding mystery. What do they want? Malik's voice was low, almost a whisper now. The truth, she replied, intensity in her gaze. About your family, about your past, About your mother. Tension thickened in the air. Amina's heart raced. Your mother, the woman continued, voice trembling. She didn't just run away. She made choices. Choices that put you both at risk. What choices? Malik demanded, almost pleading. They're tied to the power she sought. The danger you're in is more than I can explain here. The suited men exchanged worried glances, their confidence waning. What had Malik's mother done? Please, Malik shouted, frustration and distress rising in his tone. Tell me. But just as the woman opened her mouth to speak, chaos erupted. The crowd panicked, scrambling back. A shot rang out. A piercing crack split the air. Amina screamed, her heart racing as she ducked, looking for cover. Malik reacted instinctively, grabbing his mother, shielding her with his body. Get down, he bellowed, anger mixing with fear. But it was too late. The suited men charged forward, their faces twisted with fury. Amina's vision flickered wildly. She turned just in time to see the tall woman stumble, a look of shock on her face as she clutched her side. No, Malik gasped, dropping to his knees beside her. The crowd erupted into chaos, shouts and cries drowning out everything else. People were shoving past each other, desperate to get away. Amina's chest tightened. Tears filled her eyes. She felt helpless. Get her out of here, one of the suited men shouted, pointing to Malik, but he shook his head, tears streaming down his cheeks as he cradled the woman. No, don't you dare take her. She needs help. The world felt like it was falling apart. Amina could barely breathe. The truth was rushing toward them. But in this storm of chaos, nothing made sense anymore. Malik's voice cracked like glass. What's happening? Stop this! Then the tall woman gasped, her eyes fluttering. Malik, you have to remember. His voice grew weaker. Amina leaned in close, desperation gnawing at her. What do we need to remember? But just as the woman was about to spill secrets that could change everything, the lights flickered overhead. Then, darkness swallowed the square. Screams echoed in the void. Amina's heart raced, panic turning to blind fear. Was this the end? Would they ever learn the truth? And just before everything went silent, a whisper broke through the dark. A cold voice echoed, "You're too late. The game has just begun." And in that moment, Amina sensed it, an unmistakable feeling that their lives would never be the same again. The darkness held secrets and dangers far beyond their understanding. Amina felt the air crackle with tension. The darkness was thick around them, choking every breath. She was scared, so scared. The woman's figure lay on the ground, the life draining from her. Malik's hands shook as he held her. Desperation filled her eyes as he looked up. Someone help! But no one moved. The crowd was frozen, their voices lost in the chaos. Panic had taken over. Amina's heart raced. What could they do? Then, just as they thought all hope was lost, the woman's eyes fluttered open. Malik. Her voice was a whisper, fragile like glass. You must listen. Please, he begged, eyes wild. What are you saying? What do we need to know? But before she could respond, the piercing echo of a gunshot rang through the square again. Malik flinched, ducking instinctively. "Get down!" Amina shouted, barely able to believe what was happening. The suited men were moving closer, their eyes hard and unyielding. The tension twisted Amina's stomach. She couldn't just stand there and do nothing. She had to act. "Malik, we need to go!" Amina yelled over the din, panic pushing her forward. But he was still kneeling, staring into his mother's eyes. "Tell me what you've been hiding." The woman took a shuddering breath. "They know, Malik. Everything. The truth will ruin you," she gasped, her strength fading. "What truth?" Amina stepped closer, heart pounding. She needed to understand. They all did. The crowd murmured, whispers ricocheting off the walls. "What's happening? Who is she?" Malik shook his head, bewildered. "What truth? You can't just leave me hanging." But before anyone could answer, a hand shot through the throng, grabbing Malik's shirt collar. "Enough of this!" It was one of the suited men. His grip was iron. Then, without warning, the woman gasped, eyes wide with sudden clarity. "You're not ready, Malik. You're not ready for the truth." "What truth?" Malik's voice broke. "Just tell me. That you," she struggled to speak, "that you're not my son." Amina's breath caught in her throat. The world tilted on its axis. "What?" she gasped, unable to process the words. Malik stepped back, disbelief flooding his features. "What do you mean?" He looked like a wounded animal, eyes darting between the woman and Amina. The crowd shifted, shocked whispering rippling through the people. Amina could feel the weight of every gaze. "No way," someone whispered, echoing her own disbelief. "Malik," the woman croaked, pain etched across her face. "You were taken from her. Another child was used." "Used? Taken?" Malik shook his head violently. "You're lying. I'm your son." But the woman's gaze was steady, filled with a sorrow that cut deep. "No, Malik. You were raised in a lie. There's more, and you're in danger because of it." Amina felt the tears prick at her eyes. This was devastating. How could everything they thought they knew shatter into pieces right here, right now? And just as Malik opened his mouth to argue, the wave of darkness surged again. The suited man pulled him forward, unwilling to waste another second. "No." Amina shouted, reaching out in a desperate attempt. "You can't take him!" But the man shot her a look filled with malice. The truth must come to light, and it's time for the play to end. And just like that, the chaos exploded anew. Guards rushed in, pushing everyone aside. Amina's heart raced. This was spiraling out of control. She reached for Malik. Something inside her screamed to protect him. But the crowd surged, blocking her way. Voices rose in panic and confusion, blending into a maddening roar. Malik's eyes were filled with fear as he was taken away, disappearing into the fray. "Malik!" she cried. But his figure vanished into the shadows, and in that moment of darkness, Amina felt the weight of the truth crashing down. Everything was unraveling. She couldn't let it end like this. She needed to find him, to uncover what had been hidden. The world around her blurred. She had to know why they had hidden him. The night was far from over, and as whispers swirled in the darkness, one truth remained. Every secret had a cost. Would she uncover it before it was too late? The question nagged as chaos raged on. Amina stood in the midst of the chaos, her heart racing. The darkness pressed against her, heavy with confusion and fear, as she searched for Malik. Her eyes, darting through the panicking crowd, The echoes of gunshots still lingered, the moments spiraling away from them. "Malik!" she screamed, desperation clawing at her throat. But his figure had vanished, swallowed by the shadows. Suddenly, she felt a firm grip on her shoulder. Turning, she found Layla, her expression fierce and focused. "We need to move." Amina's breath caught. "But Malik, trust me, we'll find him. But right now, we have to get out," Layla urged, her eyes scanning the scene for danger. The crowd was running, faces twisted in terror. People stumbled, cries echoing through the night. Amina's heart clenched at the thought of Malik alone, lost among the turmoil. But Layla pulled her forward. "Stay close." They navigated through the chaos, adrenaline pumping. A surge of pain washed over Amina as she thought of Malik's mother, the woman who had seemed so full of life just moments before, now lying desperate on the ground. As they hurried into an alley, Layla cast a glance back. "We're not safe yet. I know where he might have gone." "Where?" Amina asked, her voice trembling with urgency. "To the old market. It's a place hidden from prying eyes. It could be the only chance we have." Without a word, Amina followed, her mind racing against the backdrop of panic. They reached the market, lit only by flickering lanterns and the low murmur of hidden deals. Amina's heart thudded. Would Malik be here, waiting, lost in confusion? Layla nodded toward a dim corner, where a familiar silhouette stood. It was Malik, his face a mask of pain and determination. Relief crashed over Amina, flooding her with hope. "Malik!" she called, rushing toward him. He turned, eyes wide. "Amina!" Relief flooded his voice, but it was laced with dread. "They aren't far behind. We have to hurry," Malik said, glancing back, his expression haunted. Before they took a step, a figure stepped from the shadows. It was the tall woman who had warned them, breathless yet unwavering. "We don't have much time. They know where we are." The gravity in her voice chilled Amina to her core. "What do we do?" Malik's gaze was sharp, determination lining his features. "We confront them. The truth is out, and hiding won't. Save us. I need to know, for all of us." Amina felt her heart race, fear battling with the fierce loyalty she felt. "I'm with you. We can't let them take you." As they moved out of the dim alleyway, Malik squared his shoulders, eyes steeling. "If they want to fight, let's give it to them." Under the wearied lights of the market, they moved forward as one, each step heavy with the burden of truth, but buoyed by the bond they shared. They would face whatever lay ahead, knowing their stories were now interwoven in a tapestry of pain, history, and hope. As they stepped into the open, a voice rang out, cutting through the air like a knife. "You think you can escape the past, Malik?" It was the stranger, standing with the suited men, a smirk twisting his lips. "Enough of this!" Malik stepped forward, intensity igniting his presence. "I won't let you control me any longer. I refuse to be a pawn." The air crackled with tension, everyone holding their breath as the battle began. The truth would be unveiled, and with it, the chance for freedom. In that moment, Amina felt something shift. Even amidst the chaos, in the fight for truth, hope flickered like a distant beacon. And as the shadows surrounded them, an unshakable bond formed, thick and resilient, as they prepared to confront their fate together. "Whatever happens next, we do it together," Malik said, locking eyes with Amina and Layla. As the confrontation built into a crescendo, Amina wondered what secrets awaited in the darkness. The mystery of their past still loomed large, but one thing was certain: this battle would change everything. Would the truth truly set them free? Smash that like button now to feed the algorithm, and flood the comments with your reactions and theories about this intense finale. Don't wait another second to share this with 5 friends who need to see everything unfold. Your engagement means everything.